Hey guys, um, first let me confess, I did not think I would get this far, uh, this early on. I was hoping to get, um, I don't know, I mean, I got my Z, my Y, and my X, so, I was hoping to get this far by mid or end of November. So, I'm way too ahead. Um, so, just let me kind of describe what I've done so far. Uh, I took Aaron's advice from CRP, CNC router parts, to when you're mounting these rails, that you have a half-inch spacer on each side, and then clamp them, thus the clamps, so that it's aligned. So I did this end first, then I went to the middle, I did that, and then I went to the end, did that, and then so I've had zero troubles. Same on this side. So everything's lined up pretty good. Let me get this guy out of the way. So, I also took off the nice mustaches that were put on here, the brushes to clean the rails. I don't know how that happened. Alright, so now it's moving smooth. I understand the steppers will be providing a constant force that my hand cannot, thus it wouldn't matter to the stepper, but I'll be employing a different sort of cleaning method on here, so I don't really need the brushes. I'll still keep them. I'll still keep them out just in case. I also employed the same half-inch method at the top. The bottom, I let it sag as far down as I could. Just let gravity take over, and then I made sure it's aligned. I was missing 4 bolts, so my end stops, I only got, like, each bracket only came with 1 mounting bolt. There was no other mounting bolt, so what I did was just took the mounting bolts from my y-axis end stops and put them on here. Then I talked to Aaron about what the specs, or sorry, the size of these bolts were, and I just got them today. Yeah, so everything's thread locked. I know I don't need to thread lock, but I might as well, because I'd rather be sure. I know self-locking and whatnot, but I'd rather be sure. Also, I did not, what the tip suggested on CRP's website was to first check your rails, obviously, right? So the extended carriages, make sure that they're kind of level, that everything's tight on the rail first, and mount the high Z plate, and then once the high Z plate is mounted, mount this guy on, then put on your anti-backlash nut, and then thread your acme rod into it, and then start building. Yeah, I didn't do that. I already had this pre-assembled. So what I did was I simply put this on. I made sure I only put on 2 bolts. I left these 2 off, and then what I did was before I did any of that, put these on, then put on just 2 bolts, 1 on each side, or 1 on the further side, and then I aligned them by hand. I know that sounds bad, but I aligned them by hand. I don't have clamps. I don't have these giant big clamps, like little soft clamps, so I don't have that, so I just did them by hand, and then I put on the rest of the 2 bolts on for these carriages. Then I put on these carriages onto it with just these 2 bolts, and then I aligned them, made sure, well, not aligned actually, I left them loose, and then I took my entire Z-axis assembly and I literally held it up here, and then I manually threaded the rod into the anti-backlash nut. I don't know if you can see it. It would be this guy here. Can't even see my own phone. It would be, well, you can see it now, kind of. So that backlash nut, put it on, and then I literally just did this. And as you can see, it worked beautifully. And then after the whole Z got in, I literally held them together and then tightened it slowly, and then made sure all the bearings were touching, and done. I don't want to say I have OCD, but some things I really just want to buy those clamps and then redo all this. I really do, but I just don't have money, so I'm not going to. Not right now. Probably next year when I get a bit more money, I'll buy those clamps. I know they're cheap, but still, I just don't want to spend anything right now. I really don't have anything left. So I guess I'm this far. I'll check alignments once I get the electronics. I want to check alignments now, but I guess I can do a little bit of aligning with the Z-axis and a little bit of Y, and a little bit of X, but without the spindle, I really don't know. And plus the steppers might do something weird. I really don't know what to expect. So that's all I can think of. What I'll also try to do is I'll start to get all the wiring in. So I have just enough money left to buy the limit switches that will go on either end, on all 3 axes, and also some wiring for the switches, and maybe the connectors for the motors that I'll be making, and then a bit of plumbing for the liquid cooling, and maybe the actual cooling part that will kind of sit here, that kind of point in. So then I'll get, along with my electronics, I'll get the cable chain to mount onto here. I don't know on which side. I'll do that. All I have left to do is mount my NEMA motor mounts, so that I can align the rails, or so the rack up correctly. Yeah, I guess I'll make another video once I have that installed, and then we can go about. Then it's just going to be just general wipe down with a bit of WD-40, a little bit of cleaning here and there, and probably cleaning off the table and stuff. And I'll get started on mounting my little 220 outlet over here and route it back. I still had to get that breaker, so there's another thing. So yeah, and then I'll test my motherboard, see if it can run Linux, and I guess that's it. Yeah, I guess see you next video with the things mounted. That's all I can say. Thanks for watching. See ya.